Hi, my name is Shivasa Pramkusam, and I'm in 11th grade at Science Academy, South Texas. Now imagine this, you're a student and you're tired on a Thursday, and you forget to stay after school. Well, this very scenario is real and very true for many students. A lot of students miss club meetings, practices, or events simply because they forget, and this causes many missed opportunities. That's why I created Digitize, a digital after-school calendar that helps you stay organized and on track. With Digitize, you can keep all your after-school activities in one place, so you'll never miss out again. Now let's go into the deep functionality of the app, how it actually works, and we'll see that right now. So first we start out here with our home page, and if we click continue, we'll go to the calendar. And in the calendar page, we have Google Calendar linked where we can see different activities. Here we see chess club. Now as we move on to the application page of our app, we can see that we had a need access page. Now that page is used to block out any non-school emails when they log in. Now, when they log in, they have to, with their school emails, they have to see all these options to add their club. And at the very top, we see a list view that has a list of all the clubs that are added already. So, in case you're thinking of adding those clubs. And as we see in the application, there are multiple things like name, school email, what day the club meets, the name of the club, and whether or not you're the sponsor of the club. And all these things are used to make sure that you are who you say you are. And all these responses get added back to an Excel sheet where we eventually have all of your results there and is added back into the app after further confirmation. Now let's go in depth about the functionality, the coding, and the elements in my app. So in the very beginning, we have, in the very home page, we have an image, a button, and a text box. Now the text box is uneditable and it has the reasons why we should use the app, what's the necessity, what does it solve, and then it has the image, which is the logo of my app, and then we have the button, which takes us to the next page, which is the calendar. And the code reflects this here. As we can see, when button 1 is clicked, which is that, it moves on to calendar. Now, in calendar, we have two different buttons. One is to go back to the home page, and one is to move on to the application page. And here we have one more element called the web viewer. And this is how we look at Google Calendar. We see all the elements there because I add all of the items there. Now, moving on to the application page. Here we have one new element here. We do have a button and a text box. The button is to take us back to the calendar. The text box is explaining what the list has, and it's the clubs that are already added into the calendar. So for example, if you want to put in an application for a club, you would be able to check right here if the club is already added to the calendar. And here, the web viewer, instead of showing us Google Calendar, it shows a Google Forms, which is a form or an application to apply to get your club added to this after school club calendar. Now here's the code for this. This is the most extensive code out of all the 3 pages. And we have an empty list and a list with all the clubs inside. And now we have a procedure with a for loop and an if statement inside of it. And we use the for loop to iterate through each item in the list. And we use the if statement inside the for loop to check whether or not they have the keyword meeting, because these are for club meetings, not for any other type of event or fundraiser. So this is why we strictly use it for only meetings. And so we iterate through each one and sort it. So now that meeting is, if the condition is met where it has meeting, then it is put into the global results list, which is the empty list. And then it was set to list viewer. And then once application is initialized, once the page is initialized, we call this procedure. And this code here is just the return button code.